Hello everyone, peace be upon you all. Welcome to the second video in the series where we learn about Aristotelian metaphysics. In this video, we start with the second section, the categories. To understand the problems and project of Aristotle's metaphysics, it is best to begin with one of his earlier works, the categories. Although placed by long tradition among his logical works, see the discussion on in the entry on Aristotle's logic, due to its analysis of the terms that make up the propositions out of which deductive inferences are construed, the categories begins with a strikingly general and exhaustive account of things there are beings. Okay. Let's read this part again. Although placed by long tradition among his logical works, due to its analysis of terms that make up the propositions out of which deductive inferences are construed. Okay. The categories begins with a strikingly general and exhaustive account of things there are, beings. According to this account, beings can be divided into 10 distinct categories. Although Aristotle never says so, it is tempting to suppose that these categories are mutually exclusive, and jointly exhaustive of things there are. What does mutually exclusive mean? And jointly exhaustive. Exhaustive is understandable, but exclusive? I think they want to say the same thing. They include substance, quantity, quality, and relation, among others. Of these categories of beings, it is the first substance, ousia, to which Aristotle gives a privileged position. Substances are unique in being independent things. The items in the other categories all depend somehow on substances. That is, qualities are the qualities of substances. Quantities are the amounts and sizes that substances come in. Relations are the ways substances stand to one another. These various non-substances all owe their existence to substances. Each of them, as Aristotle puts it, exists only in a subject. That is, each non-substance is in something, not as a part, and cannot exist separately from what it is in, as he says in categories. Indeed, it becomes clear that substances are the subjects that these ontologically dependent non-substances are in. Each member of a non-substance category thus stands in this inherence relation, as it is frequently called, to some substance or other. Color is always found in bodies, knowledge in the soul. Neither whiteness nor a piece of grammatical knowledge, for example, is capable of existing on its own. Each requires for its existence that there be some substance in which it inheres. In addition to this fundamental inherence relation across categories, Aristotle also points out another fundamental relation that obtains between items within a single category. What? Aristotle also points out another fundamental relation that obtains obtains what? Is there another meaning to obtain that I don't know? Apparently, to obtain is to exist. So Aristotle points out another fundamental relation that exists between items within a single category. He describes this as the relation of being said of a subject, and his examples make clear that it is the relation of a more general to a less general thing within a single category. Thus, man is said of a particular man, and animal is said of man, and therefore, as Aristotle points out, animal is said of the particular man also. The set of relation, that is to say, is transitive. So the genus is said of the species, and both genus and species are said of the particular. The same holds in non-substance categories. In the category of quality, for example, the genus color is said of the species white, and both genus and species are said of the particular white. There has been considerable scholarly dispute about these particulars in non-substance categories. For more details, see the supplementary document. Okay. The language of this contrast in a subject versus set of a subject is peculiar to the categories. But the idea seems to recur in other works as the distinction between accidental versus essential predication. Similarly, in works other than the categories, Aristotle uses the label universals for the things that are said of many. Things that are not universal he calls particulars. Although he does not use these labels in the categories, it is not misleading to say that the doctrine of the categories is that each category contains a hierarchy of universals and particulars, with each universal being said of the lower level universals and particulars that fall beneath it. Each category thus has the structure of an upside down tree. At the top or trunk of the tree are the most generic items in that category. For example, in the case of the category of substance, the genus plant and the genus animal. Branching below them are universals at the next highest level. And branching below these are found lower levels of universals, and so on, down to the lowest level universals, such as infime species as man and horse. At the lowest level, the leaves of the tree are found the individual substances, example this man and that horse, etc. Okay. The individuals in the category of substance play a special role in this scheme. Aristotle calls them primary substances, for without them, as he says, nothing else would exist. Indeed, Aristotle offers an argument to establish the primary substances as the fundamental entities in this ontology. Everything that is not a primary substance, he points out, stands in one of the two relations, inhering in or being said of, to primary substances. A genus, such as animal, is said of the species below it, and since they are said of primary substances, so is the genus. A genus such as animal is said of the species below it. Okay. Since they are said of primary substances, so is the genus. Since the species are said of primary substances, so is the genus. Okay, recall the transitivity of the said of relation. Okay. Thus, everything in the category of substance that is not itself a primary substance is ultimately said of primary substances. Everything in the category of substance that is not itself a primary substance is said of primary substances. And if there were no primary substances, there would be no secondary substances, species, and genera either. For these secondary substances are just the ways in which the primary substances are fundamentally classified within the category of substance. As for the members of non-substance categories, they too depend for their existence on primary substances. A universal in a non-substance category, such as color, in the category of quality, is in body. Aristotle tells us, and therefore in individual bodies. Let's read that again. A universal in a non-substance category, such as color, in the category of quality, is in body, and therefore in individual bodies. Okay. For color could not be in body in general unless it were in at least some particular bodies. Similarly, particulars in non-substance categories, although there is not general agreement among scholars about what such particulars might be, cannot exist on their own. For example, a determinate shade of color or a particular and non-shareable bit of that shade is not capable of existing on its own if it were not in at least some primary substance. It would not exist. So primary substances are the basic entities, the basic things that there are in the world of the categories. And here we reach the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.